Invisible sculpture sells for 18 grand. Invisible, you say?
Conservatives raise cash for AOC's Abuela. Rejected.
Jeff Bezos in space.
Giant flamingo saves lives.
Woman has 10 freaking babies.
Board games made by Christians. Is there anything they won't ruin?
All that and more on
The Bee Weekly.
Hey guys, we want you to become a Babylon Bee subscriber to help support us in our fight against censorship and our new legal action we're taking against the New York Times.
More like the New York Slimes. Oh, man.
That's defamation.
Hey, but you know, there's also benefits to being a Babylon Bee subscriber.
Yeah, there are. Not just helping us out. You get ad-free browsing.
Who likes ads?
I do.
Oh,
Except
And
for
our marketing
this
guy.
ad is a great ad.
Oh, yeah. He does marketing, so he likes
Yeah,
it.
he likes ads. Weirdo.
I read the ads on Facebook.
Yeah, there you go.
You get a 20% discount in our store, and you get free, for a limited time, the Babylon Bee Sacred Texts.
You get that
Of the
included
Babylon
with
Bee.
your premium
That's not the
annual
title.
subscription.
It's upside down.
And it is beautiful.
It is glorious.
You get access to full-length podcasts, comments, forums, premium articles, extended versions of our videos, and bloopers. And it's all kinds of fun.
Behind the scenes.
As
Become
one of those
Babylon
shills that buys all the Babylon Bee things, my life is happier
Your
because
life
of it.
is much happier.
Oh, you're a real subscriber, so you can attest.
I saw him in the comments
am.
yesterday,
Okay,
arguing with people.
nice.
Yep.
Did you ever get
Yeah,
first?
you get to see all the
first?
sausage outtakes.
No. And what the heck is the deal with FERT?
FERT.
What the D?
Someone,
It's a thing? I don't
tried to
know.
get first once and made a typo, and then it became a thing.
Is
and
this
that's
still an ad?
everybody does. Oh, yeah. So become a Babylon Bee subscriber, babylonbee.com/plans. Oh, hey, there's a guy with
Two
us.
against one. Oh, yeah, who's this?
This is Andrew Lowen.
Hey,
Andrew Lowen.
that's me.
Friend of mine, Christian board game developer. And I'm sorry, board game designer who happens to be...
Christian.
No, I make Christian games. They're just good games. Uphill battle in the market for that.
So he's going to be showing off his new game, Deliverance. We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the episode. And he's going to play with his toys here while we talk about the news.
I just look at them. I
just
don't let anybody touch them.
Did you paint these, or did someone paint?
Move your hand away?
Oh, sorry.
No. I actually professional painted them. Believe it or not, I don't know if I should say how much money each one of these things cost because
I think
people are
you
going to
should.
be like, this guy's a super nerd. Yeah, it was $120 a piece to get those things
Wow.
painted.
Goodness.
There are lines
wanna
that are
touch them
so
now.
thin. It's amazing. There are lines that are so thin that it's like it must have been like one strand of hair from a Norwegian mare that,
Yeah.
is like pure white or whatever. It's like $1,000 brush that
That-
gets the lines so thin.
Yeah, that reminds me of when,
That's how it is.
in creating Axe Cop, there was a brief moment where we had toys. And Malachi, my little brother, he was probably about 6 or 7 at this point, we went to the toy company, Mezco Toys in New York, and they showed us the prototypes. And apparently these prototypes cost like thousands of dollars each to be made.
Yeah,
Like
just
they're
one, yeah.
insane. And so they're on the table, and Malachi, being the child, cannot stop himself. So he immediately grabs them and starts having them knock each other over, and Axe Cop's chopping everybody's head off. And Mez, the guy who owns the company, this is his money. He's sitting there, just the look in his eyes of like horror.
Yeah.
He's doing this.
The amount of money that these things cost. Actually, nowadays there are printing companies that kind of are US based that specialize in board games and whatnot that you can get like a short run made. But a lot of these things had to be paper mached and made them, like there's one version and this doll and this thing and whatever, and it all costs boatloads of money.
Wow.
It's just time and things we don't have.
Crazy. Well, we're going to talk about the board game design process, Christian art, Christian games a little bit later in the episode. We're also going to talk about our legal stuff we've got going on with the New York Times.
Angels and Demons.
Angels and Demons, which is what this game is about. And actually, this Tuesday, we've got an interview with Greg Kading, who's a former LAPD detective, so we
yeah.
want you guys to tune in for that as well.
That was a fun interview.
He solved the Tupac and Biggie murder case.
Yeah.
So we had him here. He just
Yeah.
came in, it was like...
But he's like
random.
one of these guys that's on all these docs. Like he'll be like, oh, that guy. He's a cop on all these documentaries.
Yeah, you're watching a true crime, and you're like, oh, that guy.
He pops up on all the true
Detective.
crimes. So now he's on the B podcast. Big time.
Yeah, it's awesome. Hey, we got some subscriber comments this week
Oh,
from our
yeah.
last podcast. Birdman says, Trevor is wearing a Hawaiian shirt. Boogaloo members also wear Hawaiian shirts. This dog whistle does not go unnoticed, and I am triggered.
I understand none of that.
Yeah, is Hawaiian?
What are Boogaloo?
What is Boogaloo? Oh,
What is Boogaloo?
I thought Boogaloo was like you're going to overthrow the government or something. Was
That's
that Boogaloo?
racist, right?
Is that racist?
Not liking the government is very racist. My understanding.
Is Boogaloo racist? I don't know.
Boogaloo. Now it
Yes.
was it always, or is that new? We've talked about this. Boogaloo skunks. We talked about Boogaloo skunks.
They called us Boogaloo Skunks.
I think so.
Someone wrote in and said we're Boogaloo Skunks.
Which would
we
be a
didn't
great.
know what it meant.
That's such a good band name.
The Boogaloo Skunks,
Yeah.
especially with the banjo. Yeah. Okay, Birdman. I didn't even notice that Trevor was wearing a Hawaiian shirt, but I
didn't either.
I guess. Yeah. All right.
Just blind. I'm colorblind. YouTube comment of the week on our conservative comedy writers versus liberal comedy writers, which, just to expand, I earlier said you get to see all the sausage outtakes because in that sketch I had these giant sausages and almost all was unusable because it just looked wrong.
We even had to edit the thumbnail because in the thumbnail you were standing there holding these sausages like in a weird spot. We're like, we can't do
This is
that.
weird. If you look at the Photoshop, my fist is coming out of my chest unnaturally because
I had to edit it real
yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he has a fist growing out of his chest.
So, well, we post the bloopers for subscribers, so you get to see all me eating these sausages in a cowboy hat. So
feel
this
like-
comment,
As somebody who's seen this video, how many sausages did you eat or ruin in the making of that
He's
video?
like, oh, we need to do another take.
yeah, those weren't as good as when we did the Lincoln Pork segment. We got premium sausages; those were like Walmart sausages.
How was the kale?
I think I actually spat those out. The kale was just lettuce.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun spitting it out, but not fun picking it up. Okay, this YouTube comment from Axel Dave. To be fair, it's incredibly difficult to write jokes about the left when they just keep turning satire into reality.
This is very true.
So true. That's our plight.
Am I going to piss people off by being on this podcast?
Probably.
Are you scared?
We're gonna get you canceled.
But you can't. We have to say right now, you can't cancel the episode after it's
oh
after
yeah,
we
you're right.
finish.
You're committed, by the way.
Yeah, you're committed.
From what I heard, I get like 2 days to pray before my execution when it launches.
Yeah.
I guess that's cool.
Raise as much money in your.
You can just
Kickstarter as you
disavow what we say periodically throughout the show.
Yeah, if you need
Yeah.
to like totally just when this comes out, when there's a big controversy, you can just be like, I didn't know who these guys were.
Yeah.
Like I just came and like
I
thought
definitely will reserve that.
Okay.
You just every few 10 minutes go, I disavow.
Yeah.
I disavow.
Yeah. Also,
Can you look at the camera right now? And
I disavow.
there.
Here you go.
I'm
All
not
right.
a subscriber.
Yeah. Let's do some weird news.
This news is weird.
Italian artist sells invisible sculpture that only exists in his mind, and he sold it for $18,000.
Who's dumber? The buyer is clearly
The buyer's
dumber.
dumber. The
dumbest.
The seller is very smart.
Incredibly.
Maybe the buyer wanted something else from the guy.
Is this just like money laundering? Is this like, is just this even dumber than NFTs? Like, what is this?
It seems dumber than NFTs to me. And
At least you have
NFTs are
something.
pretty dumb.
Yeah.
He sold a piece entitled Io Sono, which means I am, to an unidentified buyer. He said, the vacuum is nothing more than a space full of energy, and even if we empty it and there is nothing left, according to the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, that nothing has a weight. Therefore, it has energy that is condensed and transformed into particles, into us. You don't see it, but it exists. It is made of air and spirit. That's his description of his sculpture.
This guy could be a cult leader. The guy's like, sold. So an auction though. So like
Yeah,
people are like,
auction.
the guy's like, 18,000.
And now you're 5,000, 5,000, here 5,000, here 6,000, 6,000. And
And he just kept going.
he just kept going.
The particles dancing in the revolution.
man.
It feels like your power level would go up if you walked too close and accidentally breathed it in.
Read this void of energy space or whatever
Yeah.
he's talking about.
When the guy comes to collect the sculpture, he's like, where is it right now? You're not handing him the right one. It's over there.
Watch me lift it with my mind.
Isn't there a parable
ship
about
it?
this?
Is
The
that
Emperor Has
king
No Clothes?
Yeah, the Emperor has no clothes.
There was a Pinky and the Brain episode about this,
Was there?
where they
That's
do
not a parable.
Pinky. Well, I was talking about Emperor Has No Clothes, but then it reminded me Pinky and the Brain has an episode where they're doing like an infomercial and they get everybody to watch it and they unveil it and it's nothing, and everyone's all excited about it. And I think they still like it because it's like they've been all hyped up about it.
We live in a cartoon world.
We live in cartoon land.
Congruency. It's a powerful emotion.
U.S. Special Forces accidentally stormed a cooking oil factory in Bulgaria during a live training exercise. So apparently they were doing these drills in Bulgaria on behalf of NATO, and the mission was to seize and secure the Cheshnygorovigo decommissioned airfield. But it turns out there's a cooking oil factory right next door to the airfield where all these guys are making cooking oil in there. And all of a sudden, these soldiers just charge in there with their guns.
They were probably enriching cooking oil at 20%, though, or whatever.
I don't know cooking oil
Yeah.
references. I don't know how it works. Are they extracting it from olives? Or I don't even know what saffron.
I know basically as little about cooking oil as anything on the planet.
I do know that different types of cooking oil can be heated to different degrees.
Okay.
Are you a cooker?
I
Cook?
cook terribly.
Okay.
I cook about as well as Ethan flips burgers. Sorry.
Oh, ouch. Yeah, I was acting.
Hey, was that? Yeah, it was just acting.
Well, that's me in real life, though, I guess.
They say in the video you can see a worker just sit down and like watch him, just casually watch him.
So he gets what's going on.
But or he's just like, oh, this is interesting. He just sits down and he watches these soldiers walk through. But I can't find that part of the video. So
That guy was fearless.
Nobody is injured. Though one employee can be seen casually sitting down. But yeah, did they like? Yeah, I don't know. I have questions, but
It's like, why was a chair there? Why was a chair in that spot?
maybe while it cooks, you got to sit there and wait.
Yeah. It's like right in the middle of the walking area. It's like
Sounds
is
like a
this code
slippery
violation?
place. I wonder if they came running
On
in
the
and
oil?
if they didn't have their non-slip shoes on, which are probably standard at a cooking oil factory. They just slid in one door and out the other, and everybody's just like, going back to work.
it's a good thing they didn't raid the marble factory. Whoa. Or the banana peel factory.
When they charged in, the music started playing. It was like, I don't know. Story 3.
All right. U.S. Coast Guard rescues 3 adults and 2 dogs floating on giant inflatable pink flamingo near the Gulf of Alaska.
Wow.
Yeah, on Saturday.
Hero.
Sounds like that's not where you'd want to be stranded. The Gulf
Alaska.
of Alaska.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Yeah.
On Saturday, a Kodiak-based U.S. Coast Guard helicopter rescued 3 adults and 2 small dogs, which had been recreating in the ocean on a giant inflatable pink flamingo in Alaska.
Were they recreating on the flamingo, or did that become their life raft?
I wonder if they brought the flamingo or found the flamingo.
It might tell us later in these words. I don't
The
know.
inflatable flamingo
these
was
parts.
swept across Monashka Bay by winds and ran around on offshore rocks. Ran aground. I can't read.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing in here about where the flamingo came from. They were recreating on a flamingo
So it sounds like there's a bay.
in Alaska.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a bay and people will go out and play in
With
the
a
water.
watermelon grove.
And so they were just out there by the coast, and then it just went and swept them out
Okay.
to sea on this flamingo.
They wanted to go back to their home.
Where the
So it's
water
3
hole-
adults.
Yeah.
Charlie, Joanne, let's get on that flamingo. Bring the 2 dogs.
Yep.
Wind.
This is a good idea. The Coast Guard determined the safest way to rescue the stranded crew of the Flamingo and their dogs would be with a helicopter. So an MH-60 Jayhawk was dispatched to conduct the rescue, and they spent a lot of taxpayer
A lot of
money.
money.
a lot of
to
money.
do that. I like it says the crew of the flamingo. Does a flamingo is not really a crew, right?
Who was the captain?
Yeah.
Probably one of the dogs, which is why they got into trouble.
Will there be a movie of this starring Tom Hanks,
Probably.
Captain Flamingo?
He'll star as the flamingo.
I am the captain now.
I am the captain.
Everybody, hold on tight.
So Matt Walsh started a GoFundMe to fix AOC's Abuela's house. And it raised over $100,000 in a matter of hours. But then it was shut down because someone close to the family said they would not accept the funds. Sad.
Yeah. Why would you not
Lo
accept money?
siento, AOC's abuela.
Yeah.
That
We're
means
bilingual
we're
now.
sorry.
Lo siento.
See.
Ay, ay, ay.
She would understand.
So I didn't totally follow the story, but I guess AOC posted a tweet. She said, just over a week ago, my abuela fell ill. I went to Puerto Rico to see her, my first time in a year, because of COVID. This is her home. Hurricane Maria relief hasn't arrived. Trump blocked relief money for PR. People are being forced to flee ancestral homes, and developers are taking them. So I think the question was, why aren't you helping your grandma out?
Yeah.
That's the main question.
Why do you drive a Tesla?
Yeah.
When
Don't you
your
have
grandma
like
lives in
super
squalor?
expensive
Yes.
clothes and really nice stuff?
And a Tesla.
And a Tesla?
Yeah.
Oh, and that's why Matt Walsh, he said he'd put it a Tesla payment,
Yeah, $4.99.
$4.99.
Matt Walsh is...
I was amazed. That's all it is? That's not too bad. I could do a Tesla. For $4.99 a month?
Professional internet troll.
I would say
Yes.
that is probably one of the most impressive trollings that I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's pretty brilliant because it's like, how can you complain about it? We're giving
Yeah.
you a ton of money as part of this.
I love kindness trolling. Like I love that was with Target Tori, I think her name was.
Yeah.
The guy like went off on her about the toothbrush or whatever, and they just put together a campaign to like buy her a vacation.
Yeah, and that's awesome.
That was the troll. That was awesome.
So this thing quickly got $100,000, and it's according to GoFundMe, someone in AOC Abuela's family declined the money,
Someone.
but it was never revealed who or what. Or we're gonna need to go down there and find Abuela.
I think
Fund the Babylon Bees mission to find Abuela.
Yeah, redirect the funds.
Redirect the funds. # find Abuela.
Where's Abuela?
We do a whole documentary. This could be a whole documentary of going to finding Abuela. That's a great name
Finding Abuela.
for a documentary.
Or what's the Spanish word for finding?
Buscar? No.
Vámonos a la abuela. I don't speak
Buscar.
Spanish.
Buscar means search. Hey, I was close.
Buscar.
To find in Spanish is
We'll stick with English.
encontrar. Encontraring Abuela.
Our comments are going to be full of Spanish
Encontrando.
people.
I think it's actually
Non-stop.
Encontrando. We will find.
Oh, we will find.
Encuentre?
We will find Abuela.
Encontremos. I could be wrong, but they don't know me as well as they know you, so you'll get the fire and flames.
It's my turn? Mm-hmm. Jeff Bezos is going to space on one of his company's rocket ships this summer. So, Jeff Bezos announced Monday that he and his brother Mark would be among those flying on the first passenger flight of his space company, Blue Origin. And word is that Elon Musk is excited because for the period that he's in space, Elon Musk will be the richest man on Earth again.
Do they keep like jockeying for position?
I don't know. I was just ripping off our own article.
I know, but the richest man on Earth, like, because there was a big deal when Elon became the richest man on Earth, and then I heard, he's not anymore. So they must be like neck and neck.
Neck and neck, yeah, like when they're racing and their noses keep going past the point.
You know, I feel like there's this James Bond joke that everyone keeps telling because Jeff Bezos is building an evil lair and now he's going to space. But the only thing,
totally
and he
James
has
Bond.
no hair now.
Yeah.
It's like his Corona cut. You know, he just looks more and more like a Bond villain. But I actually think that he looks more like Dr. Evil from Austin Powers.
He totally does.
And what I'm concerned with is that his rocket ship is going to look like a giant wiener. It's going to show up on
Have you
everyone's
seen it?
radar.
Is that what
Is
it
it
looks
out
like?
there? Have we seen it? Is it built
I'm
yet?
going to look. Blue Origin new.
I mean, it would just make sense if it was, though. You guys
It kind of does.
Well, most rockets do, right? They're
But like very much so.
rockets are very phallic.
Have you seen this before?
This is an Austin
wow.
Powers.
Okay, that's very nice. And they didn't even try not to.
It's like this is an Austin Powers premise. Austin Powers.
Did you know that you didn't know that shaped like that?
No, but
that-
I mean,
that-
the evidence was
It's like
there.
you had that
though.
joke ready
The
because it's
breadcrumbs
perfect.
were there.
Feminists, sometimes I feel like they're right about a lot of this stuff.
So you can
Men
join
with their-
Bezos on the space flight or one of his space flights. The
How much is the
bidding
ticket?
to get on is at $2.8 million,
Okay.
with 6,000 people participating in the auction.
Matt Walsh should start up a GoFundMe.
GoFundMe to send Abuela to
Send
space.
Abuela. Send her up there.
Give Abuela a flight to space.
Get her off this godforsaken planet.
Jeff Bezos is a character. This guy went from relatively a happy life to divorced, being the richest man in the absolute world, and going to space. If he dies in space by getting sucked in through like a tiny hole in the rocket in a meteor storm, that is the most amazing end to someone's life.
God, blazing glory.
Will it be the
Yes.
pee hole? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that's what I was saying. You
What
said
a
a little
story.
hole. I was
A little
thinking.
hole. Yeah, I couldn't stop.
Like Alien 4, the end of that terrible movie.
Wait, I don't even remember how Alien 4. That was
It was like a giant
Resurrection,
baby
right?
alien. that-
Alien Resurrection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it screamed. So this giant baby alien got sucked through like this tiny little hole, and he was screaming, even though he had like no skin or whatever. He was just bones, and the bones were getting sucked through. But like his skull that was there was like still
screaming.
all the way until like the very end. It's like
Wow.
wow, the voice box. Was
I
like
wiped
the
that
last
movie
thing
from
got.
my memory. So
It was so awful.
I do the Total Recall death. You never know. You just start
Yeah.
expanding.
all I remember is that Ripley makes that basketball shot over her head in Alien Resurrection.
It's awesome.
Whose turn is it? Is it your turn?
Yeah.
Take a shot.
Okay.
Whose turn is it?
Among Us shaped McNugget sells for nearly $100,000. Oh my goodness.
You guys fill me in what Among Us is?
It's a video game where you have like a trader, like one guy's a trader, a couple of people are traders, and they run around the
Traders?
spaceship. Traitors.
T?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone's a sus.
Everyone's sus.
Yeah.
That's where that
everyone's
phrase sus comes from.
Like cisgendered?
No, like like
Suspect.
suspicious.
Suspicious.
Yes.
Okay.
So you all go around the ship and you do stuff, and then
Yeah.
the trader's trying to stab people in the back.
And they look like McNuggets?
They look like that nugget.
They look like, yeah.
But that nugget looks a lot like a normal McNugget. It just has some nubs, right?
Could you imagine?
This is what they look like. So
Okay.
you can
Yeah, they look
see
like
the
McNuggets.
resemblance, although
Right.
it's not like uncanny or anything.
But it sold for almost $100,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have eaten
Okay,
a lot
who's
of
stupider,
McNuggets
this
in
or
my
the
life.
invisible sculpture?
How much money have I eaten?
Well, this guy's stupider by a factor of $78,000. Wait,
The McDonald's, the McNugget probably will last longer. It has a longer
$82,000.
shelf life than an invisible sculpture.
It is. You do actually get something at least.
Yeah.
You paid a lot more for the something.
It's true.
I'm surprised that eBay let somebody sell food.
Well, usually in these kinds of weird news stories, it ends up getting canceled. So I'm
Okay.
curious if it actually went through or not.
Oh, yeah. So, all right. So, a McDonald's chicken nugget that bears a resemblance to the player characters in popular video game Among Us sold on eBay. It's sold on eBay for just short of $100,000. The McNugget listed on eBay, user Polizna, started at only 99 cents, but after 184 bids, this item sold for $99,997.
I'm curious if the person actually pays. We'll see.
Now, this could have been like two people that just got in a bidding war, and they're
Yeah,
like, no,
right.
I need this.
I must have the nugget. It's probably Bezos and Musk.
Yeah.
Going back and forth over who gets the Among Us nugget.
It's like, that's as much money as we make in a minute. Let's give the world a joke.
On the upside, I won it. On the downside, I'm now not the richest guy in the world. By that much.
South African woman gives birth to decuplets.
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 How many couplets is decuplets?
Decuplets. There's 10 babies.
How does a woman have 10 babies inside of her and live?
I don't know. I don't
Make
even
a show
understand
about
like
it, I think.
2.
One is bad, right? I mean, what that did to my wife having one baby in her, I cannot imagine timing that by 10. Timesing that by 10. Multiplying that by 10. And her not exploding like a freaking fruit gusher. Like a
But then
like
you
a
just
mess.
figure it out. You've got to figure it out.
You just figure it out?
I will never eat gushers again.
Like a spaghetti sauce water balloon.
Spaghetti sauce.
I'm not trying to make everybody quiet here. It's just
So it's
I
lighthearted
just
rant.
can't think of anything more clever to say than what you just said.
yes, that's my problem. So she was expecting 8 babies, and she's giving birth.
Yeah, at first she's like, "Oh man, 8," which is already crazy. So yeah, and then they found out because the ultrasound, they're like, "Oh, you got 8 in there," but it turns out there were 2 hiding.
Well, it says first they thought she had 6,
Oh, it just kept going.
and they discovered their scans had missed 2. Sextuplets is sextuplets is 6, right? It says
And then oct.
They thought she had 6, and then they later discovered their scans had missed 2, and then it was a shock when they were doing a cesarean section. They found 2 more.
And her name,
How do they know they got them all? Are there more in there?
her name is Sithole. That may not be like the way to pronounce it. Sithole. Sithole? But it's Sithole.
I'd like to see you read that whole line.
Which line?
The one right above.
Above what?
It's the one that looks like a tongue twister. It's the second bullet.
with
point.
all the
You
all the
highlight it?
names.
Oh, these are all their names?
Tiboho Tisotetsi.
You just got to say it confidently.
Tiboho Tisotetsi of Tiboho Township, Carolina, said his wife Gusiyama Tharmara Sithole
Sithole. That's the easiest.
gave birth to decuplets at a Pretoria hospital.
Sithole.
I think we got about 40% of that right. That's
What is
good.
a sithole?
Is this getting flour
Is it a
bedded?
thing that you
is
sit on, or is it a part of your body? That's what I want to know.
A shithole to me sounds like a part of your body.
Or
Or is that what Trump says?
like a
That
tool
place
that
is
you
a
would
real
use.
sithole.
This sounds like how they keep changing biology to be more gender inclusive and stuff. And like, that's your front hole.
Yeah.
That's your sit hole.
Some words don't translate to English very well. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
10 babies. Congratulations.
Guinness
And she
World
survived,
Record
apparently, and all the babies survived. That seems to be. Because that seems to be.
It says it's a Guinness World Record, which
Yeah.
I will I will accept that as a legit,
legit.
Guinness World Record. I mean, it's not like she did anything.
You couldn't do it right now.
But yeah. Well, I mean, she did something, but it's not like...
And yet she wasn't using fertility treatments. Usually that's like the story, right? The Octomom, I think.
Oh, were they using fertility drugs or whatever?
But she wasn't.
This
Just happened.
Oh, okay.
She was
Doesn't
chosen.
Guinness World Record have to be those people? Don't they have to be present to win?
The judges...
Yeah, that's what they're saying they would be, but they didn't do all the official stuff.
Maybe for stuff that's like physical, like tallest man, they don't have to be there, like, or they can come by and visit and be like, oh, yeah, you got 10 babies.
Yep.
Me?
Yeah.
Ontario police officer rescues skunk from McFlurry cup. So, Boogaloo skunk, possibly.
That's another boogaloo.
The Peel Regional Police shared a video of an officer coming to the rescue of a skunk spotted running in a road with a McFlurry cup stuck over its head. I usually don't do these stories about animals with their heads stuck in things because it's just there's a lot of them.
It just happens a
but
lot.
there's still the specificity of a skunk with his head stuck in a McFlurry cup.
I'm watching. It's hilarious.
And the officer donned a glove and carefully approached the skunk, and I love this line, which was apparently unable to see the officer. Because it's not a see-through cup.
It's like a
Because
parent kid.
Because
So
head is in a
all
cup.
it's doing is like, I am in a world of yumminess. I'm blind, but it's delicious. And then all of a sudden, what is this stuff? Because he must be wondering, what am I eating? That's why I was wondering when animals discover, like if you're a fly and you land on a rack of ribs, that just must be crazy. It's like you landed on a continent of deliciousness. We don't get to ever experience that as humans. Like an entire continent, or at least an island.
Is this what you dream about?
A Florida key.
You're like, I've landed on the island of ribs.
Yeah, like I would land on the end of a sausage and run to the other end of it. Sorry. I'm fantasizing here. So
The guy who runs the police department must be a dad. Because the department posted, what do you get when a police officer and a skunk cross? Law and order.
Apparently the skunk didn't spray him too.
Oh, nice.
That guy can't be a dad. That's the lamest dad joke ever.
That's lamer than a
Barely
dad.
a dad joke.
Maybe he's a decuplet dad.
Too exhausted.
Yeah, too exhausted.
That's like a lot of dad jokes to keep up with. How do you
Give
do
him
that?
time.
All right, we got one more, I think. Oh,
right.
I have to read this one, though.
Ooh.
Las Vegas woman crushes 3 watermelons in 7.5 seconds for world record. A Nevada bodybuilder crushed her world record when she smashed 3 watermelons in under 8 seconds. Courtney Olsen used her thighs.
Oh, with her thighs. That makes it a little more interesting.
Ooh.
And she nearly halved the previous world record of 14.65 seconds.
Watermelon thigh crushing.
That's so stupid.
She needs to put a YouTube workout series out, man.
I know. God.
She's like the Gallagher of bodybuilding.
Have you guys seen the
That's a
hydraulic
reference.
press videos?
The what?
Will it? So there's this guy that lives in Poland or something, and he has this gigantic hydraulic press.
Oh, I've seen, yeah.
And he crushes all sorts
stuff.
of different things. I feel like there's a future for her in
With like
this.
slow motion videos.
Can
Will
her
it
thighs crush it?
like,
Yeah, get together with the slow mo guys or whatever, the guys that do the slow mo videos. Yeah.
like a full soda can in slow motion with like
yeah.
a 4K camera. And
Phone book.
Water balloon full of spaghetti sauce.
A gusher. Hey guys, summer's here, and all you people that live in states that have winter, it's time for you to get out your t-shirts. Look at this. Babylon Bee t-shirts. These are amazing.
man.
Hey, I want this one. I don't even have one of these.
I'm
I'm gonna take
That's
this
the
one.
blue one. That's the blue origin.
It's got blue origin.
Very nice.
And look, on the back it says Babylon Bee. That's so cool.
This one says support fake journalism, and it's got kind of a grungy feel
Grungy
for
look.
the Seattle people.
Yeah. Designed by Ethan, our Gen X grunge
Yeah,
guy.
I like the Gen X grunge.
that grunge look.
Yeah.
And Andrew's holding one up,
Weather.
even though he's disavowing the Babylon Bee.
Yep.
He's holding it up.
Hate this
disavow.
company. I'm taking this shirt
disavow.
home
Taking
to
the shirt.
do something terrible to it.
Yes, to burn it.
Certainly not wear it.
Yeah, buy shirts and then burn them if you hate it.
Oh, here's one that's unexpected.
Oh,
It's just the Babylon Bee on a shirt.
I do have that one. I like that one.
There you go.
Babylon Bee logo. So check it out. Shop.babylonbee.com. We have a ton of shirts, hats, all kinds of goodies.
It's awesome.
Buy some
Good
shirts,
quality.
guys.
And if you're a subscriber, you got your discount.
Yeah,
Boom.
in your email. We are a satire site. We tell jokes. That's what we do. Sometimes people mistake those jokes for reality. Is that our fault? You be the judge. I don't know. Was that a good intro?
Sure. Yeah, keep going. Roll with
So,
it.
So we've updated you guys on this podcast before that the New York Times had published a piece calling us far-right misinformation that uses satire to protect our presence on Facebook. They say we're a far-right misinformation site that sometimes traffics in misinformation under the guise of satire.
Under the guise.
Which is the funniest, most sinister description. Because if you visit this place, it's a couple of guys that make dad jokes.
It is really dad jokes.
Law and odor. And people identifying as people. Mm-hmm. That's all we
objects.
do. And we really have no... I don't think there's ever been a time when we've sat around and gone, how can we trick more people with this headline?
It's not even on our minds. I mean, like... There's ones that it happens with, and a lot of times it's unexpected, but it's definitely not our mission whatsoever.
Yeah.
But it's also not, we're not sitting there going like, we can't trick anybody.
Yeah.
Because there's so many dumb people. If we did that, it would be like, even our some of our stupidest headlines have become.
I know, and that's the funniest thing is the ones that are so dumb, like the one behind you with the marijuana character added to VeggieTales. That one got passed around like, they're really adding a marijuana plant to VeggieTales.
Well, yeah, we've mentioned this many times, but the giant washing machine to spin the news that CNN had installed.
Yeah, fact check. False.
Fact checked. That one, we got like dinged on Facebook for that one.
Yes, we did.
So
fact check. News is an abstract concept and cannot be put in a washing machine.
So if we tried to be as ridiculous as possible so that nobody would ever think that any of these were true, it still wouldn't work, I don't think.
Yeah, because they still, I think I've told this story before, but my last job, I was talking to a guy that had read an Onion headline and thought it was real, and he's going all serious with me. He's telling me, did you hear about those 2 cruise ships that shot cannonballs at each other? And I immediately knew which Onion story he was talking about, and I let him go, and I'm like, so that was satire. And I'm explaining it to him. He's like, what? And he didn't understand the concept of satire. He's an older guy, didn't get it.
Yeah.
It's like no matter what, someone's gonna think it's fake. So anyway, what happened recently that we wanted to update you guys on is that we sent a letter to the New York Times from our legal department saying, hey, knock it off. And because they never really retracted that article where they mentioned that we were a misinformation site. Mm-hmm. What they did do was kind of update it and just say, well, we're not saying they're misinformation, but Snopes has called them misinformation before. Mm-hmm. Which really isn't even true because Snopes did, but then they walked it back and they were like, no, they're clearly a satire site. It's jokes.
It's jokes.
So we've asked for a retraction from the New York Times, and as of now, and this is coming out Friday. As of right now, when we're recording this, they have not responded to our letter. So we're gonna have to decide what action to take next if they don't respond. But
there's only one option. Write very angry things on Twitter at them. Seth Dillon, you are a monster on Twitter.
Yeah.
You were like Triumph the dog at the Comic-Con, just roasting noobs left and right.
Seth is a little feisty.
He likes the Twitter.
He likes the controversy. To be a little feisty on there. So
it's amazing.
Yeah, I think what happens with a thing like this when there's a site, they can just say a thing, whatever they want to say in their New York Times article. Down the road, they make another article, and then they refer back to this article. They cite it.
They link to themselves.
So this becomes their citation.
And they go, see, Babylon Bee's misinformation.
And all they do is the word is blue with an underline, making it sound very official. And that citation is just somebody saying something.
Yeah, and the most bizarre thing is that the first time they called us misinformation, the source for that was they interviewed their own reporter who interviewed us. And so so the guy that wanted to write the article saying that we capitalize on confusion with our readers.
And he asked that question.
He interviewed his own reporter and said, so it seems like Babylon Bee's misinformation. Is that true?
And then the actual conversation led to her saying, I don't think they purposefully try to do that.
At the very end, she's like, well, it's clear to comedy.
Yeah, it's clear comedy.
But then they start referring to this when they mention later it's misinformation. Right. So then the real problem is that fact checkers, social media, big tech, they'll come along and go, well, New York Times called you misinformation. We'll ban you or we'll, suppress you or whatever.
Right.
It's rough. As a marketer that deals with Facebook all the time, they have no customer service department that you can reach. They're all like hidden behind this wall of, whatever it is. And one time I got banned, like my account got banned for selling guns and advocating for terrorist organizations. When I was selling miniature figures, like these little toys, there was like an orc with an axe, and it was like, you are selling weapons and trafficking. I was trafficking in misinformation, I guess.
These look pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're selling angelic weapons of warfare.
Yeah. No, it was gnarly. It was like, I actually, in order to solve the problem, because I needed it solved right away, because they were happy to let all of my marketing accounts, they were happy to take their money and not let me fix them. But I had to actually issue an apology for, it ended up being, the sticking point was that I was advocating for a cyber terrorist organization.
Jeez.
It's like, dude, I'm
That's like
marketing
FBI
a board
level
game.
stuff.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's like FBI knocking on your door for
Yeah. So I had to say sorry for doing this. I won't do it again. And then they unlocked my account right away. And
Wow.
I was like,
Oh man.
who
Just
does
apologize.
this?
We're currently in contact with Facebook over suppression, and we're going back and forth with them.
Give me that person's number.
Well, we're trying. That's the thing. It's like they're like, oh, that's really weird that your post is being suppressed. That's strange.
Yeah.
And then they're like, let me look into this for you. And then you'll wait like 2 weeks, and then Seth will reply like, any update? And then they're like, they'll wait 4 days, and then they'll reply. It's like, what?
It's like every interview with Jack from Twitter.
Yeah.
Bro, I mean, I don't even know, man. I don't know,
man.
Like,
It's just
should
wild,
probably be
bro.
free and stuff, you know? Bro.
Anyway.
Well, there's always this. Oh, no, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
sorry.
Yeah, well, there's always this level of customer service that you can access with Facebook's support system, that it's a guy who has no idea what he's doing, has no authority to change anything,
Right.
but is instructed to like calm you down and make you go away.
Oh, I'm so sorry about
Like
that.
the lowest paid person in a very low wage foreign country. Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually,
Like South Africa.
yeah, and the first thing that they told me,
we keeping that.
no, I said, yeah, in ignorance. I am not a fan of the Babylon Bee. It's there. They traffic in misinformation.
Disavow. Disavow.
So yeah, so these guys, they told me that the decision to ban me based on my advocacy of a cyber terrorist organization called Legion, which is a hacker group, was
Sounds
final.
like one of the characters in your game.
Yes,
Legion.
it literally is.
Is Legion a character?
Yes, he is a character in the game, and because that's awesome.
So you're a member of Legion, the terrorist organization? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but this was a miniature squad game called Legions of Steel, and so the Legion and the other Legion are the same word, so they must be the same thing. This is what Facebook said.
And the demon with the big axe or whatever.
Yeah.
Or the orc with the axe.
Yeah, it reminds me of the cow that was. Did you guys see the advertisement for the cow that was taken down because it was overtly sexual, or the onions that where it's like, yeah, they do all sorts of things. Sometimes
I don't want to
think-
Google sexual cow, so I'm going to.
Yeah, how are we going to find that? I want to see that. They got to get an overlay of that.
Yep,
Dan, we'll have Dan jump on that grenade. Dan, Google sexual cow.
it'll be in the show notes.
It'll be in the show notes.
I have spoken.
Incognito mode that.
Yeah, so anyway, if you want to support us in our possible legal action against the New York Times, go to babylonb.com/plans and subscribe. It's really helpful, and we've been blown away by the outpouring of support. And I want to pull up some emails. Maybe we'll do it in the next episode with people that have responded and been like, "Hey, we're with you." And there's like there's a ton of people that's just pouring out support. So we really appreciate the financial support, or just your prayers, which is okay. Money's good.
That's good.
Prayers are good.
Cool.
Prayers
Cool.
are better.
Cool.
Prayers are obviously better.
Both,
Way.
though.
When you,
both.
When
Just
you
do both.
pray,
To be
it
safe.
summons
Cover
one
all
of
your
these.
bases.
When you pray, it summons one of these.
The
warrior
forces of
demons,
heaven activate
Meaning
when you
angel.
pray.
and they come to attack the New York Times. Is the New York Times a villain? In
No, I didn't want to dump on different ideologies in the game, so, so no. I just wanted people that are
it's
like,
I thought about it.
yeah.
Well, let's talk about your new board game.
Yeah.
How about that?
Board games. Let's get into this.
It's Ethan's very excited.
I know. I'm
to
kind
talk
of scared
about
of
board
Ethan right now. I'm ready to get trolled and stuff, and I have a feeling after this episode, I'll be like, "Oh man, I would have said this. If you did it again, I would have said this."
I'm not
and
like
that."
Ben Shapiro against board games or anything.
Okay, gang.
Okay,
listen
gang,
up. Here's the thing about board games. So you got this game, Deliverance. You want to tell
Yeah.
us about it a little bit, and then we'll talk about just Christians designing stuff. And
Yeah, for sure. So the game, the way I describe it, it's a Christian fantasy tactical adventure where you play cooperatively with 1 to 4 players, and you are elite angels in the army of heaven. You've come down to this small, podunk, little backwoodsy town in modern day Southern California called Fallbrook that is rife with demonic activity. So your mission is to figure out why the demons are like all over this town, and so there's a campaign where you kind of figure the story of Fallbrook, but and then there's like a skirmish where you all can sit down and just play a game. But something strange is happening in this town where instead of what you would traditionally encounter in the spiritual realm, this darkness is manifesting from the human realm and bleeding into the spiritual. This represents the evils of the human realm around you, and it threatens to cripple and destroy you. So you have to slay all the demons in order to win the game, and you lose if you're all defeated. So
That sounds so awesome.
yeah,
And I mean that from the bottom.
How do you slay the demons?
punch him in the face
Okay.
spiritually.
The angels do it, or do you do it?
Yeah, so I mean, it's a theological fantasy. So we're just making stuff up basically. So Michael the Archangel has a sick, gigantic broadsword, and you can use that. Or
You don't have to answer me seriously. Just be like, yeah, they punch him, and then move on to Kyle.
Kyle, I need support. Line.
We need covering fire.
They're cool. They're tiny and pretty.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. I mean, we were talking about Christian games and Christian game designs and all that stuff, and everybody knows. Well, I'll say this: it's a generally accepted principle that Christian games are the worst. The worst. They suck and they're awful, and you should never play them. And
Do you have any specific ones that you want to slam right now?
well, I'll all of them except for maybe like 5. One that is actually decent is called Commissioned. It's a decent Christian game, but I mean it's so easy. They're such easy targets. It's like, why would you want to slam something that's just like sick and
I just wanted to,
like
stir up a little controversy here. Slam
Yeah.
your fellow game designers.
Yeah.
Is that why they're basically trying to make the Christian knockoff version
Kind
of
of what I'm
something else?
Like Christian Monopoly. Like to me, that feels like.
Does
what a
that
Christian-
exist?
okay, so I'll give you one.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah, I'll give you
Churchopoly or something.
Christian games are very famous for saying, let's make this but Christian. So instead of Magic the Gathering, you have Redemption, where you play angels and demons to like send people to hell and heaven, I guess. I don't know. It's like, this sounds like a bad idea. In order to win, I'm going to send your guy. Here's sins. Load him with sins so that I win the game. It's like, I don't know. It sounds like a bad idea.
That's how it works. It's free will that gets
Yeah.
you to sin, right? So,
That's right. So I free will that I play this card to take your free will away. The Calvinist version, they just take those cards out. But yeah, it's gnarly. They have, Settlers of Catan is a really popular game. You just did this hilarious article that I think has been on your heart for a long time
With all the Satan designed board games.
Yeah, and you talked about Settlers of Catan. Well, there's Settlers of Canaan you could play.
Oh, yeah.
So instead of, so you're basically...
Are you going to say Settlers of Satan? Like some Satan version or something.
It's a Satan version.
Somebody commented on the article and they said, Satan is in the name of Settlers of Catan. Catan means Satan. It's like, I guess.
Oh, plot twist.
Yeah, means some 1900s frontier to me, but I guess. So, yeah, it's
Okay,
gnarly.
so as a huge board game nerd, I've got almost 400 board games at my house. And stay away, ladies. I'm taking. And I always find I tell people like, oh, I'm into board games, and they immediately think like, oh, you play live
Shoots
like,
and ladders.
You play shoots and ladders.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Right.
So how would you describe that? How would you pitch this to someone who like
It's like a...
wants a Christian board game but has never like played anything beyond?
It's an
Candy,
epic
like-
video game that's actually played on the table. So it's the way that it works is kind of like if you've played or heard of MMO RPGs like World of Warcraft or there are a lot of big games, but you control this character, you level up through these challenges and beating bad dudes and whatnot, and then you fight epic bosses. And that's exactly the experience that you get when you're playing this one, except you're angels that are growing in power, and you're fighting these epic fallen princes, which are your former angelic allies and brethren that have now fallen and lead the armies of darkness from the shadows. So it's your mission ever since the victory on the cross to send all of these demonic foes to the abyss to await their final judgment. So that's kind of what you're doing. And it's really different when somebody, they're...
So we roll dice, we auction off properties.
Yeah. Exactly. When people
You get stuck in the candy swamp or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
no, yeah, you get the double lollipop, you go to the
double
end, and then you get the single lollipop, and you go to the beginning. Dude,
Because that's probably what people are picturing when you say, I designed a Christian board game. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, that's what people think.
I can't
that's
tell when
a-
you guys are going in and out of jokes.
He's like, oh, yeah, Candy Swamp. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, I designed the game with really an experience in mind. I wanted you to be feeling like this epically powerful angel that is almost about to die. It pretty much is kind of the idea behind this experience. And then you pull it together with all of your people and then beat the game, on the cusp of defeat. And it's a really weird thing when I talk to people that have never really played a board game. They immediately start thinking, and when I say what I said, I really mean that. I don't mean that you have to like do math and add numbers and whatever, and then you have this little pasted on theme of an angel or whatever. I mean, like, when you're thinking about what you're going to do on your turn, you're thinking, should I punch this demon or should I cast down this darkness? Like, those are the types of decisions you're making. And it's really different from the traditional, I roll a dice and move so many spaces and, I landed on you. Sorry. It's not that type of game at all.
Can Satan win?
You can absolutely lose this game. So it is not easy, and it kind of comes from, we were talking about theology and angelology and all of this stuff. There are stories in the Bible of angels, like Gabriel, the messenger of God that said, hey, Mary, baby Jesus,
Paraphrase.
Yeah.
The message translation.
recorded in all 4 gospels.
There's
Hey,
a song that he
you-
sang, like the genie in Aladdin.
Hey, you got
Mary's
knocked up.
baby Jesus.
Y'all knocked up.
Y'all knocked up.
Yeah. So this guy was slated to deliver a message to Daniel, a very important dude, and was blocked by a demon with the title of the Prince of Persia for 3 weeks.
I've played that game.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes,
Oh,
actually.
wait, were
that's
we
an
talking
awesome
about a
one.
game though?
No, Prince of Persia. That was.
Like the
Remember, it was
way
like
back.
it was like the PS2.
Yeah.
He runs and
Jump
he
off
jumps
walls
one
and,
like
uh,
to the next,
parkour,
and then
parkour.
he can't stop running.
Yeah, that was the one that did the wall running first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an awesome game. I played this.
Oh, did you play the old school one? Or
Yeah,
like
I'm talking
the-
old school.
You're talking like Sega Genesis
Yeah.
or whatever. Oh, I was talking like the 3D reboot. But I
what?
forgot it was like actually there was like a side-scrolling platform.
Yeah, the side scrolling, and
and you would land on the spikes and
He wouldn't just plant when he landed. He'd like land and then be like,
and then yeah, and the animation was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed became is like Prince of Persia in a new like reborn.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, which this character right here is kind of the Prince of Persia Assassin's Creed dude.
Okay.
So
But he's not a demon.
But with
Is the
wings.
Prince of
Nope.
Persia a demon?
he's Azrael, the angel of death. So very, very.
So are some of these demons or bad guys or good
No,
guys?
they're all of these are angels. They're the guys that you would play in the game. So the actual game itself, actually, we're live on Kickstarter right now, and on the very first day, to give you an idea of why, it's easy. It's very self-serving for me to say, "Oh, this is a great game," but we've raised over $156,000 on Kickstarter right now, just in one day.
Nice.
With over 1,000 backers, and people are coming in from all over and asking me questions like, do you ship to Brazil and Russia? And it's like, dude, people all over the world want this thing. There was a game that came out like 2 months earlier on Kickstarter. It was like the Deep Impact to my Armageddon, It's like the cheap knockoff that hit the market first, and it raised like $20,000 over a course of like 30 days. I just was some cheap
What a
knockoff.
loser! Total loser.
I know. Sorry, Jonathan, if you listen to this, I love you guys. But yeah, we
Could be some tension there now.
yeah. It's actually by the same guys that did Terraforming Mars. It's like a
Really?
huge game that's everywhere.
And it only did $20,000. Huh?
No, yeah, it's people didn't like it, and you know what I find is most interesting is that this game, it is a Christian game, but there's no it doesn't push so you don't need to get saved like by halfway through the campaign if you want to continue.
That's sad.
I know.
We would like to distance ourselves from this game.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
No, but the idea is that you want to just be able to like get together with a group of people, no matter the ideology, and just have fun.
That's what we talk about a lot
fun
with
in
like
box.
Christian art is that we just make it just to convert people.
Yeah.
And when you say Christian board game, that's that's what 95% of that is.
Right.
Is like you flip over a card and like, oh, you
It's
know.
like, did you know?
Did you know that Jesus?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Was it social?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just thinking the other day that like one of the first things God told man to do, it wasn't like start a Bible study. It was like name all the animals.
Yeah.
So just look at all these weird creatures and just start making up words.
And make sounds.
Yeah.
Moose.
Make sounds with your face hole.
The first thing God said to do, ordained by God in a perfect world. Rhinoceros.
Well, it wasn't. Okay. In English, but yeah. That.
So it was even crazier.
Yeah, it was curious.
Ooh, like a minga gaga. I don't even know how'd they talk. How'd Adam talk? Who knows?
Just like that.
That means fish.
Neat rock.
Make sounds with your face hole that represents that.
And also
not your
remember
sit
them.
hole, your
Not the
face
sit
hole.
hole. The face hole.
Sorry, back to the board.
No,
game,
it's
sorry.
all good. Yeah, but it's just interesting. Like, how do you approach that? Do you go, I'm going to make a Christian game? Or do you go like, I want to design a cool game, and since I'm a Christian, this theme speaks to me? And
So one of the problems with games, especially Christian games, is you have these mechanics that, you know, you move around a board and you draw cards and you roll dice and whatever. And then the theme is just like pasted on, you know, think about like just,
like it could be anything.
yeah, it could. There are a lot of Christian games, Settlers of Catan and Settlers of Canaan, and you know, like we're just going to retheme that into pirates and zombies. You know, a lot of the time you can, but with Deliverance, the way that the theme blends with the mechanics, dude, you have double banjos on your thing.
Yeah, this is my banjo
The
cup.
Deliverance joke.
Yeah, I wanted,
that
just
facing the
in
camera?
honor of Deliverance, I wanted to have my banjo cup.
I've heard that joke many times.
I was avoiding it. I didn't want to,
Dude.
I didn't want to get too close to the topic that Deliverance brings up.
Yeah, no, that's.
It's too late to change the name.
Aren't
The
you?
Kickstarter's live, so.
I know. Aren't you glad that it wasn't that? So yeah, it's so the theme and the way that the actual things that you do in the game are really intricately blended, so that it couldn't possibly be anything different. You couldn't retheme this to zombies; it would just be way too difficult. So the kind of the core of the game is. You know, I don't like using the word Christian by itself. Christian fantasy is more like it. The first thing that people will say, I've been told I'm going to hell at least half a dozen times for various elements in this game. One of them is female angels. It's like, oh, there are female angels. It's like, dude, first of all, there's no evidence for angels with 2 wings. They have 6 wings. They're terrifying. They have eyeballs everywhere. And
I want to see that miniature.
you
Yeah.
will
I
fall
want to
over
see the one
in
that has like
fear.
eyeballs all over it, and it's like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
things that like physically make no sense.
Yeah, it's like, but you're worried about, oh, there's a girl in it. You know, it's like, there are no girl angels. It's like, well, you know, I mean, maybe there are, maybe there aren't. We actually aren't told. But yeah, like I just didn't want my players to fall down in fear and start worshiping these things. You know, so that's where the fantasy comes in. But it's funny.
murdered by board game.
Yeah, yeah,
Brutal. All right,
yeah.
go ahead.
What?
You start talking.
I did?
I thought you did. No?
I got nothing.
Okay. All right. Well, Deliverance, Andrew Lowen's Deliverance is on Kickstarter now, so
Right
go
now.
check that out. As of today, it's just been a day, and it's got $150,000 and over 1,000 backers. Awesome. Funded in 8 minutes. So
Yes.
cool, man. That's awesome.
That's congrats on that. It's huge.
Yeah,
Ethan's done
funded by-
Kickstarters before, and it's a stressful time, and it's
It's a
exciting
blast.
time. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
But
you're
yeah, I
just
didn't get
gonna-
anywhere near that much money.
You're going to crash for like a week after this is over. So
Oh man, at least that long.
And then you have to actually deliver it.
yeah.
Deliverance.
Plus, my wife is 7 months pregnant.
Oh, yeah.
So, I have a feeling we're gonna have the baby either a week after the campaign or maybe in the final 48 hours of the campaign,
It's like-
and I'll finish from the hospital.
And it's like your 7th kid, right?
it's my 6th kid.
Wow.
That I know about.
Is it a girl?
6 tuplets.
It's a boy. That's right.
It's a boy.
Because you
So
have
I've
like
got
5 girls, right?
5 girls, and then the next one is now a boy.
Finally.
Pretty
Finally.
crazy. So
Got your boy. Time to close up shop.
Like angels, it just should all be.
yeah.
Wait. Anyway, check it out. And in the subscriber portion, we're going to get a little demo of the
little
actual
demo.
game.
Oh snap.
Dive in.
So subscribe to check that out. Let's do some hate mail. But first, you guys should buy the Babylon Bee's first book ever published. This was published about 3 years ago, if I remember right. And it's still a very strong seller on our store. People still love it. This is what we actually ship to premium subscribers when they subscribe, except right now we're doing the special where you get the best of book. But this is our typical gift that we give to new subscribers. How to be a perfect Christian. And it's fun. It's a book that we kind of did a send-up of Christian culture And it was a lot of fun to write. So check that out. It's on sale for $13.99 in our store, regular price $19.99. It's also on Amazon and anywhere you can get books and all of that. So check that out. Shop.babylonbee.com.
I really miss Adam Ford.
All right, well, we got an email from Pamela. This is our hate mail for today, and she says...
You know what this is replying to?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Subject, woke people. I am not a woke person, and your sarcasm is very inappropriate. I'm trying to figure out the connection. Do we know?
Or what the angle is, yeah.
Is she like a conservative, and so she's like, I'm not even woke, and even I think your sarcasm is inappropriate. Is that what it is?
I wonder what content inspired her to write that.
That's what I'm curious
I don't know. Yeah, I'm so...
It doesn't look like it's a response
baffled.
to anything in particular.
Yeah.
I am not a woke person, and your sarcasm is very...
Did she think that something we said was directed directly at her?
Yeah, like, that article's about me. Those guys totally wrote an article about
I'm
me.
not a woke person.
I'm not woke.
Yeah.
Very inappropriate.
I have no idea.
Sorry, Pamela.
Send us a follow-up, Pamela, and let us know a little more context to what you're talking about.
And we'll read it on the podcast.
And we'll read it.
to everyone.
All right.
I won't.
Yeah,
You're out of here after this.
Yeah, until your next board game. You have to design a whole other board game, and then you can come back.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do the Babylon Bee board game.
Hey, man,
you
I'm
guys
all
get a
on
lot
board.
of comments that, like, Babylon Bee's stupid. All it is board games now. You know? It's like,
We do? Board games?
And then other people are like, I love this content. You know?
Oh, you know, that's probably people that are using the comment generator. That's what Ehrlich was saying the other day.
Ehrlich.
That because people use our comment generator to complain about everything. But they're doing it funny. They're
They're
trying to
being
be funny.
ironic.
They're being ironic.
That's awesome.
All right, well, we're going to go to our subscriber portion where we are going to... Ethan's going to play his first board game
I'll
in
be
years.
forced against my will to play a board game.
So come check it out, everybody.
Support my Christian brothers.
Coming up next for Babylon Bee subscribers.
Play a couple of turns and until Ethan can't take it anymore and his head explodes.
You have your basic attack is called overhand, so you just need to be next to him, which you are, and then...
All right, I'm going to do an overhand attack and kill him.
All
Does
right.
that kill him?
Face punch.
I'm used to the games where you push a button and then it just punch.
Okay, yeah.
But you guys just like, read this thing, move these coins around, do all these graphs. It's like, I like punching people, but let's do our taxes first.
Oh, yeah.
Wondering what they'll say next? The rest of this podcast is in our super exclusive premium subscriber lounge. Go to babylonbee.com/plans for full-length ad-free podcasts. Kyle and Ethan would like to thank Seth Dillon for paying the bills, Adam Ford for creating their job, the other writers for tirelessly pitching headlines, the subscribers, and you, the listener. Until next time, this is Dave DeAndrea, the voice of the Babylon Bee.